back to a little bit of role-playing time. As I am Napoleon for Ted Racer's latest card-driven game. We are on the year 1798. Just move that year marker because we are on the year setup phase. I have my 2 administrative boost, so I get a +2 every turn, so that's why that marker's up there. Political marker don't move, but the administrative and the diplomatic go back to 0, I do believe, every turn. So that is how I got them 2. Now, in this phase of the game, I could trade this one in for one of these, or vice versa, something like that. But I think since the track's pretty low, I'm going to keep them there. I'm not going to trade anything for administrative cost. I think administrative is might be a little bit more valuable at this stage of the game than the political marker. And speaking of stages of the game, we're still just Commander Napoleon. Really haven't done much. We did have a couple nice campaigns to boost our glory on up, but other than that, like I said, or as I stated earlier, we are still in the early stages of the game. Going through more of the year setup phase, making sure we got all that done. And we'll move on over to the card deck phase. And I think that'll involve incorporating other cards. We'll see what's up. But let me go through this. I just sat down here. It's been a long week. It feels like weeks since I've been at this game. Oh boy, I watch the Players Aid boys, and those guys just have way too much time. I don't know how I could keep up, but I can't complain. I'm off 3 months during the winter, so this is definitely not my gaming season, but we'll try to get in as little as we can. Let me check out the rules and regulations, and we'll be right back. Well, then, we are all shuffled on up. We took our discarded pile and put it back into our card draw deck. These are the permanently out of the game cards. And our cards getting kind of low there. We still have a few more years till we get over here to the first console deck, and that is this one right here in 1803. Now, that card 29 didn't come into play here, so it'll be our first console deck is when we add this deck. But there was a card, and I don't know how it was not played. I guess it never got drawn. It's in the discard pile, so I have no idea. It was a big card, too, and I know if I would have pulled it out, I would have played it, so I don't know what circumstances got around to that. But card 29 is in the permanently discarded pile. All right, we're ready for more card draws. Oh, you can also replace 3 glory to gain 1 administrative point, but that sounds like a bad deal to me. We're looking around here at everything, making sure any campaign resolution phase, when you have combined value, that doesn't come into effect. Under arrest doesn't come into effect. We're all good here. We're all good here. And, yeah. Until the beginning of the Emperor phase. So there you go. As Napoleon, I'm ready for a new card draw. Card deck setup phase has been taken care of. We're ready for our card action phase. Oops. Let's get on with it. Let me take a break here. I'll make sure it's kind of raining outside. Make sure my dog is in. But when we come back from my break, on the year 1798. I'm still here. Got a little bit of glory, and we'll see how the turn of events happen in my role-playing game as I am Napoleon. Be back. First card draw of 1798 is an army of Italy. Huh. Let me see here. Now, we've used this before. And it says that I have discarded. So let me discard. Yeah, because we've used this. And we'll draw another one. So there you go. If you have 12 or more glory, you must +5. Oh, we are at. Oh, we are. That qualifies for us. If you have 12 or more glory, you must +5 glory, then remove this card from play. Otherwise, discard this with no effect. So I think we did play discard again. Or we discarded it. We'll remove it from play because this time we qualify. Before we didn't have 12 or more glory, so we have 17. We get a +5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 22. Take this card out of play. And this is my glory increases because I am now a member of the Institute. There you go. Just little yucky yuck stuff like that, but ain't too bad, especially when you get a chance to sit down for a little bit. All right, well, that is out of play then. So move from play, move this on down one, and draw another card. Escape. May place an I, Napoleon. Now, is this the card? No, this is only 17. Move from play to ignore under arrest. We got all kinds of stuff getting us out of this under arrest. So we have the sapper, or the supper at Bucari. Huh. And another, or he just downright escapes. So there you go. If we get that under arrest card again, go on to the next draw and see how far we can get along here today. All right. Most immediate. This is anti-French revolt. Huh. See what that entails. Must immediately remove an expedition. Must immediately resolve an expedition with one independent commander only. Roll a die. Failure, success. Wow. All right. I'll have to look at the rules here because now we're having us an expedition. So it's almost like having a campaign, but it's a little bit less effect, smaller scale, whatever way you want to pull it. We'll be right back. After a little contemplation, I don't think an expedition qualifies on the campaign map. I think on this one here, we're just going to roll a die. We got the option of one independent commander, as it says, which we have here, and the best one for our use will be Messina. There you go. He's an independent commander. Loyalty don't come into effect, I don't think, on any of this. So, but what we're doing here is we're going to use 2 glory. We'll go down to 20 from 22. Cost to use these boys, and plus 2 Dairo in any one combat round. So our first combat round, we'll go ahead and use this. So here you go. Oh, now on these expeditions, I'm not sure. During all combat rounds, Syrian, bubonic plague, campaign modifiers. These are campaign modifiers, not expeditions. So I think we're just going to go ahead and roll with a plus 2 die roll modifier. There you go. And it is on the campaign resolution table. What happens if it's a... Oh, let me see here. We got to find out what goes on with this expedition. I looked over here and don't see anything really. Combat, assign commanders from a camp. I'll be right back. All right, so I'm figuring that these expeditions are all figured on this card. We don't go up here to the campaign resolution table, so we will have our plus 2 die roll modifier in any one combat round. We'll take it for the first one, and we need a 6 or more with a plus 2. 6 or more, plus 2. 3 plus 2 is a 5. Not good, so that's a failure. Ooh, we will lose 3 glory and 2 political. 20, 1, 2, 3. Leaves us with 17. And 1 political takes us over here to 0. Ouch. A bad event, as I am Napoleon. And I lost me 1. There you go. 5 or less. The roll of a 3 plus 2. My general did not come into effect. Alright, that is it. Plus 2 die roll modifier. There you go. Alright. He only gets a plus 1 modifier anytime past 17 or 1808. Wow. Or 1809. Yeah, so he goes down in effectiveness as the years go by. We'll put him back in commanders. Ooh, anti-French rule. Don't say nothing, so I guess we'll go into the draw pile. That'll be like this in here. I got this. These are the cards I've used. The commander deck, the 1796 deck, and the decks are all incorporated in this draw deck. All right, we're going on to number 4 and drawing our next one. That one cost us some glory. A negative event for sure. All right, Irish Rebellion. Here's a campaign. Must place in campaigns if empty. We are empty, so we'll put that in here. Ooh, otherwise, discard this card and immediately reveal no card. Campaign effect. No commanders may support this campaign. Alright, that happens when we go on a campaign. So when we go on a campaign, it'll be Irish Rebellion. Wow. Alright, that is that card. Go down to number 5. And draw the next card. When revealed, may place in Bonaparte family. Wow. We just have old Lucien to deal with here now. It's going to be fun. Probably. Hold on a second for a cough break. When Brumaire 47 is played. Ooh, we got it. Might be played in the beginning of any campaign resolution when you have a combined value of at least 20G. We didn't have that yet. Well, we did, but we don't. We didn't go to campaign with it, so that didn't affect us yet, but whatever. When is played 5 political, may be converted into... Oh, this will help. Oh, all right. Well, we must place in Bonaparte's family. So we get the whole family. Here you go. It'll be our first one in the family. We'll have to keep an eye on this card when all this takes place. So that is something to be aware of. Definitely have to be aware of all these cards. Next one is a 6. We'll draw the card and then we'll roll to see if we go campaigning. And if we roll a 1, we go campaigning. First, we have to reveal this card. Enemy attack. Ooh, it's a modifier for the campaign modifiers. So we'll put this in the campaign modifier as a negative modifier for sure. Rolling a die. If we get a 1, we're off to the next campaign as commander. 8. No good. We'll go down here to 7. Draw another card. And we'll roll for a campaign after this. Egyptian campaign. Must place a campaign if empty. Otherwise, discard immediately. Reveal a new one. Well, it's not empty, so we can't put it in there. So that means we will discard. So this card gets discarded. We will never go to Egypt. Wow. Discard pile. Ooh, maybe it's the discard pile though. Yeah, it doesn't say permanently out of place. Put it in a discard pile. As it says, discard. Alright, got that mixed up, but we are correct. Alright, let's draw another card. Oh, hold on a second. And immediately, discard, and immediately reveal a new card. So reveal a new card first. Nelson must place in Britain. Wow, we haven't had this happen yet. This will be our first card for a foreign country. -2 glory per year, while first council and emperor effects result of Trafalgar. Okay. So we'll put it in Britain, but it doesn't have any effect with us until we're first consul. But we could just turn into a little thorn on our side. The man himself and old Mr. Racer definitely implemented him. And there he is. He comes into effect. That hurts. -2 glory per year. Ouch. How do we get rid of him? All right. We're rolling now. 1 or 2. And we go to campaign. 7. No campaign. Down here to 8. The next card drawn. Looting. Campaign modifier. All kinds of campaign modifiers, man. That's nuts. All right. We'll put that in here. May place in campaign modifier. -1. 2 political after a campaign. Oh, we'll keep it in there. We also want to have something here. Campaign modifier cards are building on up. Alright. Now what do we do? We pick the card. 1 to 3. 1 to 3. And it is campaign time. Alright. It will be, when we come back, the Irish Rebellion will be our campaign. And we have to pick out our campaign modifiers. We got some plans here. We got some generals here. And we get to break out the campaign map. Alright. Now, we also have these cards here that says we can ignore one campaign. Let's look at the... otherwise, discard. No commanders may support this campaign. -2 die. Yeah. I think the Irish Rebellion may be one we want to ignore. Any place beginning of campaign resolution when you combine value of 20. Maybe we can play under arrest. we like Augustin Robespierre. And it is an ongoing political event, and I may choose to ignore one campaign or expedition per year. Discard without effect. Alright, gain +2. Gyro modifier under arrest. Inflicted when on Robespierre. Let me read this one out. We're going to use it. Discard without effects. So we'll be right back. Well, that looks like a bad campaign. So we are going to use this card, and we just put it in the discard pile. There you go. We can ignore that campaign. Ooh. Inflicts a -2 modifier on Brumiere, but Brumiere does not come into effect unless I have 20 glory, so you gotta keep all this all this straight. Alright, there you go. Must play otherwise empty discard. Discard immediately, reveal new card. Companions may support. Alright, I mean, we might have to do this card. It doesn't say nothing about it now. We ignore the campaign. Or do we get rid of this card since we ignored it? Huh. Let me check this out. Be right back. I'd like to get rid of it. Be right back. Alright, well, this is where your legalese lawyer speak has to come in. May choose to ignore one campaign or expedition per year. Done. Discard that expedition or campaign without effect, I think is what it says. So let's get around here and put this in the discard pile. Not the out of play pile, discard pile. And gain 2 gyro. So this keeps on going on. We keep this up in here. So Robespierre definitely comes into effect each turn, each year. We get his benefit, and we remove it if we get card number 29 or when the first council deck comes into play. So a lot of these will be taken out, but yeah, like that's what we end up doing. We get rid of that campaign card. Ooh, Egyptian campaign, immediate effect. Oh, what do we do with these? Be right back. All right, those were the other cards from my discard pile. All right, we're up against it. We're ready to move now to number 9. We'll draw a card, and then we will roll the die. Immediate effect. A time Republic's revealed. An Army of Italy 37 is active. It is not. Yep. Okay. If Army is the active campaign, it is not. Our first council deck is in play. It is not. Blah, blah, blah. Then remove this card from otherwise. Discard the card. So this card will go into the discard without an effect. We will roll a die for another. Oh, wait. We went to the campaign. No, we ignored it. So here we go. Gotta keep all this straight. Yeah, we ignored it. So now we roll, and if we get a 1 to 4, we go to a campaign. But there's nobody in the campaign here, so I have to go to Syria. We get a 3, so it's a campaign time again. Let me find out what we do. Ooh, limit 1. If occupied, discard, draw a card. So we'll see what goes on here. Campaign. Immediately resolve another campaign resolution phase. We might have to go to the Syrians' potential campaigns. This one's empty. Find out what the procedure is when that happens. We'll be right back. I'm going to draw your attention to the very back of the book. It says potential campaigns, and that's a tab we're under. Campaigns are treaties that are available for play, generally through placement in the campaign or current treaties boxes. Yeah, so they're not in the campaign box. So we'll go back over to here. It says if the campaign box is empty and Spanish ulcer expeditions are not active, discard all campaign modifier cards and proceed to the diplomatic phase. So discard all campaign modifier cards. They're going to their discard pile, not out of play pile. Not out of play. And proceed to the diplomatic phase. Well, the diplomatic phase only comes into effect with the first council on Emperor card deck only, so I think we're going to go ahead and draw another card. Oh, there you go. Let me draw another card, and from 1 to 5, we'll have a campaign. So here's the next card. Placing campaign modifiers. There you go. Campaign modifiers. We'll roll this time. If we get a 1 to 5, we go to a campaign. But there's no campaigns in there, so that's a 7. So we keep on going. We get another card draw. Go down to 11. See how this works out. Must place in campaign modifiers. Another campaign modifier, but a bad one for enemy guns and enemy reserves. So there's 2 bad modifiers. If we have to go to campaign, 1 to 6. 3. Okay, so then again, if a campaign box is empty and Spanish Ulster expeditions are not active, discard all campaign modifier cards and proceed to diplomatic phase. Oh, you know what though? Let me take that back. Let's put those last 2 cards back, because I think the last time we went through diplomatic phase we couldn't go there. We go to the diplomatic politics phase. That don't come into effect. See what I mean? Instead of go to the diplomatic phase, what we did, we shouldn't have took more cards. So we put those last 2 cards back. We'll go down here to cleanup phase as the next one after that. So, yeah, these 2 cards will go back into the... We'll reshuffle them into the deck. And, yeah, I think that's all the ones that came into effect. Yeah, it was. All right, there you go. That'd be the proper way to do it. I just did that wrong. Yeah, we were done with that campaign resolution. It told us to go to the diplomatic phase, and you followed us on down. So diplomatic phase don't come into effect. This one don't come into effect either yet. So we're at the cleanup phase, and these are all the cards here. Ooh, let me see here. This deck and this deck will just be reshuffled again. All right, that is good. Now, we almost wanted to use Napoleon's luck on one of those rolls, but it wasn't all that bad. And I think we'll go ahead and stick with the way it turned out. We're at the cleanup phase. Take a little break, and we'll be right back. Moving on to another year. And I'm still here. Be right back. Again, to make note, this is potential campaign. If you could play it if you want, but this is pretty tough. You can only have 2 commanders, which must come from the deck used for the... How do you figure that out? I mean, I videoed it. I might be able to see, but if you don't video your game, how would you know that? And how would you know when you do that Egyptian campaign to remember those 2 commanders? All right. 5 glory if you win. Defeat 5G. After progress here, markers 1 step. Conduct with resource. Oof. So that's after defeat. There's a lot of stuff going in there. I kind of wanted to steer away from Egypt, Syria. Not because hindsight's 2020, but just doesn't look like a good card. But there might be a chance for... There might be a time where I want to try to gain those 5Gs if I have some good cards, you know, to help me out. There might be some in here. Strategy and tactics, campaign modifiers. You see what I'm getting at. So we just put it off for now. We'll check it out in another time when it comes up. Might be a whole different set of circumstances. We might just go ahead and use it. All right, let's take a break here, and we will go to the cleanup phase when we come back. All right, well, the year 1798, we hardly knew you. There wasn't much to that year, and you can tell here as we start getting down to it, the card decks will get a lot smaller. We did not use Napoleon's luck. In the cleanup phase, you flip all face down cards in the current treaties box face up. We don't have that. Doesn't apply to us. They put Napoleon's luck gets to be reset, and you reset the administrative marker A and the diplomacy marker D markers back to 0. Oh, so we're not doing too good. There's nothing to trade in. Now we do get our +2 administrative points, but we're only a commander. And that's all that is involved in the cleanup phase. We will go back here to... tells us that... campaigns. Actually, hold on a second here. Look what I just found. I was looking all over for this. Let me check this out. Be right back. And then luckily for us, as it turns out, the only thing we did wrong was we didn't flip over a commander. The commander we used in our expedition cannot be used anymore this year. But other than that, we followed it to a T, even though we didn't get the right spot in the rule book. Another thing I was going to say, that as a commander, we're only allowed 2 administrative points per turn, but that's coming up here in this now year setup phase. Let me get a hold of this here, and we'll get this all ready for us. Year setup phase, advance the year marker. Now 1799. Oh, blah, blah, blah. We get to get our 2 administrative points per year, so we'll put that on up here to 2. And like you said, we could trade 1 administrative for 1 political, so this will go down to 1 and political go up to 1. I think we want to keep it administrative. I could spend 3 glory for another administrative. Seems like a shitty deal to me. We'll keep it up there. Although I hear tell administrative is a something you really want to have a lot of. So let's see here. Back here, income effects, blah blah blah. We just did that. Year card draw marker. Oh, there are times we want to exchange. Yep. All right, that is it. Next is during the card deck phase, we'll remove cards. All right, so your setup phase is done. We move this here. This gave us our administrative points per year. Although, like I said, just commander, and not much happens. So we're still drawing from this deck. Now let me see card deck phase. Remove cards. I want to go through here. Remove. I don't think there's any cards that get removed. I think what's going to happen is I'll just shuffle this deck into this deck again. But our commander now gets flipped back up because he's good to go. All right. And the thing of it is that I'm kind of seeing in this is we're familiar with this deck now. This is going to be a redundancy here for the next few turns. Those cards, but a bunch of them have been removed from play, but some of them are just redrawn in. So let me shuffle this deck, then we'll get on with it. This card draw marker gets back to 1, and your setup phase. We're now moving to the card deck phase. We'll check that out here in a second. Be right back. All right, we're all shuffled in. I don't know if there's any more campaigns that'll be coming into effect while we're still commander. I also want to make note of this Napoleon card that is in the administrative police. I could spend 1 administrative point to flip this over, but this card only comes into effect when you're first consul or emperor, so no use in spending money there. All these other cards have ongoing effects until the first consul deck, and that's coming up within 4 turns. We'll open up that first council deck. Or, if you draw card 29, all these cards come into effect. For somehow, I didn't get card 29. And I know if I would have looked at that card, it's very specific. It tells you to add all kinds of cards and do something. For some reason, somehow, it got put in here. Now, I don't know what game condition would have put it in there, but it's in here. Card 29's in here. Let me check that out real quick. Here it is. And it is Robespierre's Fall. And it's an immediate effect, so I would have definitely, checked it on out. Remove on all this, add all these cards. So I would not have missed this card. So it didn't come into play until 1796, which is way back here. And it didn't get drawn, so when it hits this mark, 1796, you remove it. So it was removed from the deck. So we're all good. Everything is good in this take out of play deck. And on this take out of play deck, you'll see most of the time either it was played and removed from play, or it's got a number there. So that's something that they say in the game you want to continuously check out. Because I think it even says sometimes some get overcome while you're drawing this. And if you see one that needed to be removed that you forgot about, just remove the card and add another one. All right, card action phase, I believe, our card deck phase is done. I think we're going down to card action phase. Let me look over here real quick. Sometimes you get a little bit fast when you're on camera. But like I said, I don't know if there's going to be any more campaigns coming up in that deck. And we have this one, which is a potential campaign. I guess I could... this is a voluntary is what you want to say on this one. And there you go. But, yeah, maximum 2 commanders, which must be used from the Egyptian campaign. I don't know what happened there. I didn't have an Egyptian campaign, sorry. I don't think we did it all, so I'm not really sure if we're playing this one right, but it says potential campaign, so I guess it's one we could put in there if we want. I don't know. We'll come back. We'll start drawing cards. There you go. Everything's up to date. We're good to go as Napoleon commander. We're still here. Not really facing much of a challenge, although now, yeah, well, first consul and emperor. Nelson's waiting in the wings. We'll be back. All right, then. We are ready for some card action phase, and it goes by pretty quick. But we want to make note of the fact that our deck's getting pretty small. We got a lot of turns left. I don't know if that card 29, if it needs to have been drawn or what, but it didn't come to effect, so let's go ahead and draw from this deck. Our first card draw will be a campaign modifier. We've seen that before. Number 2, and there's going to be a lot of those in there. We'll see what's up. I think half the deck's going to be campaign modifiers. All right, so this is not feeling right. I mean, like I said, I did not get card 29 or first console deck, so I guess they tell you you might not get it. So I guess we're playing it right, yeah. All right. Oh, Italian republics. Immediate effect. If Army of Italy is active, which is not, it's 37. Army of Italy is not in effect. We've already done that. We've already went on that campaign. Campaign. If Army is active, campaign, our first console deck is in play. It's not. Then remove this card. Otherwise, discard. All right. If Army of Italy, 37, is the active campaign, which is not, or the first console deck is in play, which is not, must -1 administration and +5 glory, then remove this card. Otherwise, discard this card with no effect. So discard. Going down to number 3. All right. Campaign modifiers. So here you go. Next to number 4. And I don't think there's any campaigns in here. Any reserve, campaign modifiers. So you see the redundancy we're seeing here. And like I said, I don't think we're not playing it right because it says here, card 29, our first console deck. Card 29 is in the discarded pile. So, and I'm pretty sure it says discard it. Let me check that out. Right back. Yeah, again, it was card 29, 17. We didn't get it. And in 1796, we discarded it. So that's how it ended up in this pile. We never did. We're playing it right. It just feels kind of wrong. So we'll see. All right. And maybe that's the way it goes. Sometimes you just get into a little wall. So here you go. Next card drawn. Irish Rebellion campaign must place in the campaign if empty. Okay. The last time we pulled this, maybe it wasn't empty. We discarded. So here you go. All right. So when we come back, it's going to be an Irish. Oh, you know what? We do want to go there. We used the whole Ross Perry, got away. We could use them again. All right. That's that. Okay. We're coming down here to number 5. We will draw another card. Ooh, Lane's Commander. Oh, this is one we missed. All right, so there's another commander card. We got all kinds of commanders. Down to number 6. Now we'll roll for campaigns. Campaign modifier. All right, now rolling a die. If we get a 1, we go campaigning. 3, or was that a 3 or a 5? Either way, it's not a 1. Go down here to the next card draw, 7. Our 7th card. Egyptian campaign. When revealed, must place in campaign if empty. Oh, otherwise, discard, blah, 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 and immediately reveal a new card. All right. Bubonic Plague, campaign modifier. We're done here. We will go to another die roll for a 1 or 2 to go to a campaign. Oh, it's going to be gone for a while. We'll be back. That'll never happen again. It was right there. We have a 6. That's no good. We'll go down to our 8th card draw. Immediate effect. Must have been resolved in expedition. We've seen this one already. All right, now we know what to do with the expeditions. 1 independent commander. Ooh, what do we use him for? Messina, you're our boy for our expeditions. It's going to cost us 2 glory to use. We lost the expedition last time. So 2 glory to use Messina. 2 +2 die roll modifier to any one combat round if 1796 and 1808. We're still good in that period, so we still get the 2. Past 1808, though, we're up Schitt's Creek. That's a bunch of turns off, so we're good. All right, so here's what you do with the expeditions. They're all in the card. You don't go to the campaign battle map. You just do it here. We get a +2 on this die roll, and we need a 6 or more with a +2. 5, 6, 7. That does it. So we will success -3 glory. Ouch! We lose our glory no matter what. So Ooh, 15 minus 3 will give us 12 glory, but we do get 2 political. All right, so political going up. And so far, these haven't come into effect. We haven't used these at all, so it's kind of, it is what it is. All right, we've used this. This goes back into the, discard pile. So in my little Napoleon role-playing, the anti-French revolt has come into effect each year. There's been a revolt against them, against the French. We've had to put it down with the help of our man, Messina. He gets flipped over. No more use this year. And we will roll a die to go campaigning. A 1 to a 3. And it is a 1. The campaign will be the Irish Rebellion. All right, sorry about that. I thought there was somebody at the door. All right. Oh, where are my glasses? Now to the Irish Rebellion. All right. Robespierre. We're not even getting focus in here. Oh, I can't focus because I don't have my glasses. Let me be right back. All right. Irish Rebellion is a place you don't want to be. Let's zoom on in here. There you go. Not good to be with this Irish Rebellion because, no commanders may support this campaign. -2 modifier during the first combat round. 5 glory plus 2. Victory, you get 5 glory and 2 political defeat. Roll a die. Captured in the game ends. Yeah, we don't want nothing to do with this. Augustine Robespierre will come into effect. All right. They choose to ignore one campaign or discard without effect. Yep, we will discard this without effect. So there you go. We've done that before. All right. Well, then that, I guess, is the end of the campaign resolution phase. And we go down here to cleanup phase again. So that's what we're doing. This is going real quick towards the end here until we can get some cards in. But like I said, that first council deck don't come into effect yet. We got a bunch of years to go. So 1802, we'll be going into the 1800s. And, well, kind of, we're still here. Glory suffered a little bit, but other than that, I'm seeing that we got battery power issues. So let me look this over real quick and see what goes on with the cleanup phase, and we'll call this a video. When we come back, we'll continue on with the 1800 year. We'll be back as I am Napoleon, and like I said, not too much really involved in this game. It's pretty basic, but there are some good decisions to be made, and we're all excited about the cards that come up, so I'm sure this board is going to get a lot more complicated. Right now, we're just a commander. We'll be back. All right, I think we'll keep on going. We're at the year setup phase. Moved our marker to 1800. We'll get our 2 administrative because they're all set to 0. Administrative and diplomatic all get set to 0 each year. So we'll get our 2. Luckily for us, we had 2 politicals that don't get set back to 0. So we're both up here. And now you can trade in 1 administrative, go down to 2. And 1 political will go up to 3 if you wanted to. We're not going to do that. We could also trade in 3 glory for an administrative point. Like I said earlier, don't sound like a good trade to me, so we won't do that. Card draw will be back here. All right, your setup phase. Income effects, we got that checked out. Resource points exchange, I just told you how that works. We will not do that. Card deck phase. I don't think there's any more that need to be removed or added. So we're just going to go ahead and shuffle this small deck. It's really getting down to a small deck. We only got 2 more turns, and then we got all kinds of cards to be put back in there. So, and we become the first consul. We'll see what everybody knows what happens with that. With the revolt, and these cards are really going down. All right, we'll be back with the shuffling of the cards in our next. Card action phase. Get back. All right, well, as we're looking through the rules, they do have a little note here. In the extreme rare event, that would apply to me, that there are no cards left, and there's 4 or 5 of them in a draw deck during this segment of the Commander era, which is what we're in. Immediately skip to the combat resolution phase. This is what we do if there is no more cards left, but there's 4. Combat resolution phase. And play Brumiere, 47. Oh, that's this. And it says here, if you cannot afford the combined 20 glory point slash political points, the game ends immediately. So we're getting ready to end the game. What happens then? Yeah, we're running out of cards. And I think the big killer for us is we never did draw that card 29, but they should have that played in here. We're going to run out of cards. We only got 4 cards here. So I think we're going to hit this effect. The extreme rare effect that you run out of cards during this segment. And that is the phase advance segment. Huh. Yeah. Each year, Napoleon remains available number of new card draws, reflecting uncertainty. Does not, if the space card draw marker is moving, does not list a DR. Oh, yeah, we know all about that. We know all about that. We know all about that. All right, we're back. All right, I also want to make note, potential campaigns, I think, is part of the diplomatic phase. And we don't employ that until we're first consul. So as commander, you don't even mess with that. That's why we haven't gone to the potential campaigns. That explains that. All right, I think we're ready to draw some cards when we come back. We might call this a video and get over, but well, we only got a few cards left. We'll see what's up. Let me take a little break here and find out what's going on. And maybe we can continue to play. And we'll just keep on drawing the cards. And if whatever happens, happens. Might have to end the game. Might be an anticlimactic I Napoleon, but we're following the rules. And we'll see what is up. So far, I think we're on mark. Everything's been checked and double checked. So we'll be right back. Now, another thing we're waiting for really is this Brumiere card. If you look here, maybe played at the beginning of any campaign resolution when you have a combined value of at least 20 and or glory political points. We only have 2 political, 12. We only have 14 combined, so we're 6 short. But when you do that, you roll a die. And a game could end. Or success, you add the first council card. So we'll see what happens here. We might have to do the old. If we get down to this and we have no cards left, then the game mechanic leads us to this. And if we don't meet that criteria, the game ends. So we're looking at a game-ending situation here with I Napoleon. We'll be right back. We'll call it a video. We'll get this one posted up. Having a great time with this game. It's a little... we're running out of room, too. So we got to erase and post. So we'll be right back. We got some work to do. We'll call it a vid. We'll be right back. All right, we are not going to call a video because I have a feeling that this is going to kick in. I just looked over here at the card draw deck. We have 4 cards left. And in the extreme, of course, I qualified in an extremely rare event that there are no cards in a draw deck during the segment of the commander era, if I could read. Immediately skip to the campaign resolution phase and implement the Brumiere. Well, I don't have enough for the game to keep on going, so it's going to immediately end. But we'll go through the steps. Card action draw phase, and I got this plugged in. Campaign modifier. Put that on to 2. Egyptian campaign, most place in campaigns. Okay, so now I'll put this in there. Now, this didn't come into effect last time. So there's that one. Card number 3. Oh, we might make it here. Let's see what goes on here. Anti-French revolt. Revealed must immediately resolve an expedition. Okay, we'll do this. We take Messina, as we always do. Cost us 2 glory. We're down to 10. Messina's killing us every time we use them. But then we roll a die, and we get a +2 modifier. And that is a 7, 8, 9. It's a success. -3 glory, but we're getting that political on up through these little expeditions. So now my glory's up to 4. Our political's up to 4. And glory suffers 3 again. Ow. Down to 7. Our glory was up to 20. We could have used that card. All right. So that is it. This card here goes into the discard. And this card here gets face up. That is at an expedition. Down to card number 4 draw. Campaign. Most place in campaigns if empty. It's not empty. So otherwise, discard, reveal a new card. Discard, reveal a new card. This is our last card here. The Army of Italy, blah, 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 is active or is in play. Neither of this happens. Then remove this card. None of this happens, so we won't remove this card. Otherwise, discard. We'll put it in the discard. We'll go to 5, and now we have no more cards. We have no more cards to play. So now, I think, hold on a second here. In the extremely rare event that there are no cards left in a draw deck, which just happened during the segment of the Commander era, immediately skip to the campaign resolutions phase, which we'll do, and play Brumiere. Here we go. We'll go down to the campaign resolution phase. Down here, we'll play this card. Must be played at the beginning of any campaign resolution phase when you have a combined value of 20 glory and or combined political. Discard any cards, blah, 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 then roll dice, blah, blah, blah. All right, here it says here, if you cannot afford to combine 20 glory political, the game immediately ends. So that's where we're at. And maybe, in a way, it's some kind of justice because it was my first game. Although I think we played it right. We played it right all the way through. But I want to play this again, so we're going to set this up again. Let me see here. Let's go over here and find out how we did. We did shitty on this one. Now, when my first playthrough of Mr. President, it went through the whole game. I went through the whole game. I had extremely good luck. But I ended that one up, and it was listed on the book as one of the greatest presidents ever. Not so good when I am Napoleon. Let's see here. Ends the following way. It's a card text with blah, blah, blah. If Napoleon overthrown, resolving certain cards, the game always ends one way or another. During the game ends at the conclusion of the final year. Well, don't say it. Don't give me my criteria. And the game of Napoleon ends in one of the following ways, after which you check your outcome. Huh. The game always ends one way or another during the abdication. The game ends at conclusion, resolving certain cards. End of the game immediately. That's not it. If Napoleon is overthrown as first consul or emperor because glory reaches 0, during which era is because of the defeat of Austria, the game now. The card text gives result explicitly during the game ends. Nope, that wasn't it either. So once the game is ended, find a best. Napoleon dies as general. Game end with Napoleon's first consul overthrown. Napoleon dies in exile in the natural frontiers. Peace of Europe. Games ends with Napoleon on a throne and with a game ends a glory marker. The limits of the glory marker on no, ain't none of those. So I don't know. The game immediately ends. So I think it just ended without no outcome. About as bad as a game as you could have. We didn't really get going on this. I got to set this thing all the way up. We will call this a video. My I, Napoleon game ended with this. And it tells me here the game ends immediately because we ran out of cards. What's that say? I don't know. I think it's a game flaw. If you ask me, I didn't do nothing wrong. We didn't have enough cards. Our game immediately ends, but I lost, so we did not win our first I, Napoleon game. Stay tuned, because we're coming back with this one. And I definitely want to play this again, but I got to set this all up. So we'll definitely call this a video. And my first I, Napoleon game goes down in flames. We'll be back.